Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about rebranding yourself. Okay, and I'm going to be talking about rebranding yourself as a webcam model or rebranding yourself out of becoming a webcam model. Okay, so there's a lot of aspects to rebranding yourself, and I would think the first aspect to rebranding yourself would be not caring what anybody says. Okay, if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that I rebrand myself whenever I feel like it's necessary or when I need to. I've rebranded my setup, I've rebranded my podcast name, I've rebranded everything about myself, because when you're feeling like you're discouraged or you're burnt out, sometimes it's best to just rebrand and start fresh, get a new level of inspiration, get inspired by like a new persona, So I rebranded my podcast. As you guys know, I was playing around with some names because, I knew the name Take Me Exclusive fit for webcam models, but it was keeping me in a box. It was keeping me in a very small box, a very short niche that not everybody understood. I'm branching out to other platforms and I'm seeing success on TikTok. So I realized, changing the name would be more beneficial to me to grow more. So you have to look at yourself like that, and you have to look at all avenues of where you're going with your life and how you want to brand yourself. Because if you want to stay niche down and in a box, you could stay the same, or you can look at the bigger picture and you can change things that are going to help you make more money, that are going to help you be discovered more. And, everybody's situation is different. For me, that just made more sense for me to change my podcast name. And I was playing around with some names and I came up with No Love in the Game because I think there's no love in the game, and the game of webcam, the game of life, the game of adult entertainment, the game of industry life, it's not that there's no love, but there low key is no love. It comes down to a lot of aspects, and I just like the name. So I went with it. And if I would have cared what others thought about it, I would have never done it. You guys have seen me play around with the names. You guys have seen me play around with setups. And I had a mask when I first started because, I was shy. I was nervous to do this. And as I grew into my persona and as I started to see that what I was doing was actually changing people's lives, I was like, you know what? Forget what people think. I'm going to take the mask off. I'm going to rebrand myself and I'm going to be that bitch because I don't care what people think. So when you're rebranding yourself, the first thing you need to think about is F what people think. They're going to judge you. They're going to be like, this girl doesn't know herself. This girl is a different girl every day. People are going to have their thoughts and it doesn't matter. Forget what people have to say, let them have their thoughts because those people aren't even trying. Those people have been the same person probably since you met them. So it doesn't matter. If somebody has something negative to say about you rebranding yourself, then they clearly are in a box and that's the box you are taking yourself out of. So if somebody has something negative to say, pat yourself on the back because you're doing something right, because you're growing. If you change yourself and if you rebrand yourself, it means you are elevating. And not everyone has to rebrand. So I'm not saying if you're not rebranding, you're not elevating because you don't have to rebrand. But in order to elevate, sometimes you have to. So it's totally up to you to make that decision, to make that call on your business and on your life. So when it comes to rebranding, okay, what I've realized, I'm going to give you guys some tips from what I've realized. Keep it to yourself until you're 100% sure about it. See, what I did is I'm the type of person when I get excited about something, I feel like I have to share it, whether it's on social media or whether it's to my friends. I'll call my friends, I'll call my family, I'll blast it on social media. This is what I'm doing. I'm changing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. And I feel like that ends up discouraging me more than if I would have just kept it to myself because people end up having their opinions. People are very opinionated and people think if you share something with them, you're asking for their opinion. So they're going to give it whether or not you want it, So if you're trying to rebrand yourself, let's say you're a webcam model and you are rebranding your name, you're rebranding your niche or whatever you're doing, and you feel like you want to tell the world or you want to tell all your customers or you want to tell other webcam models that you're friends with, maybe you should keep it to yourself until you are 100% sure of the rebrand and until you have the goals for the rebrand, the image for the rebrand, where are you going with this rebrand, who do you want to be. Okay, when you're rebranding yourself, there's some things you need to think of. What is the vision you have for your future self, which would be your rebranded self? Who do you want to be? How do you want to act? What type of clientele do you want to attract? Whether that's a following or a clientele. Do you want to build a new following on social media? Do you want to branch out of the industry? Do you want to stay in the industry? You know, who are you trying to attract with your rebrand? So I want you to think about all those aspects, write it out, okay? Get very clear about it. You can ask ChatGPT for some tips, you know, get on ChatGPT and say, I'm thinking about rebranding myself. This is the job that I have. Give me some pointers on how to rebrand. Boom, ChatGPT. I could literally do it right now, and I'm sure ChatGPT would give me like so many things. But you know what? Let's do it. Let's ask ChatGPT since we're here. Girl, I got you, babes. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say because you know sometimes they got the tea. So we're gonna ask ChatGPT. I am a webcam model and I want to rebrand myself. Can you give me some pointers? Let's see what it says. I wonder if I can make it talk. Okay, here we go. Let's see what it says. Define your new brand. Use a unique identity. Choose a unique identity. Think about the persona or vibe you want to project. Are you aiming for glamorous, girl next door, edgy, or luxury? Set your niche. Identify what sets you apart, personality, looks, or unique shows, services, and lean into that. Update your appearance. Experiment with new hairstyles, makeup, wardrobe to align with your new rebranded image, which makes a lot of sense because you guys saw I used to have a mask on when I first started my Take Me Exclusive podcast. I had a mask. My whole backdrop was very dark, very like, you know, dumb. I used to wear latex when I came on my podcast. Now, you know, I'm in my socks and I got my leggings on and I'm more in my feminine era because I'm steering away from that dominant persona that I used to project when I first started my podcast. So that's true. You know, sometimes you have to change your personality and sometimes you have to change, well, not your personality. This is who I always was, but the personality I was showing before was kind of like a persona. This is more of myself. So do you want to lean more into yourself? Do you want to lean more into a character? Think about all those things. So this is, okay. I feel like ChatGPT is saying everything I was already saying. Ooh, that makes me feel good. Okay. Enhance your online presence. Username, bios, profiles, social media. Okay, all that is true too, because if you're going to rebrand yourself, you're going to have to rebrand everywhere. And I want you guys to think of that and take that into consideration because rebranding is I'm not going to say it's so hard because that is just manifesting it to be hard for you. And I don't want to do that. So forget I just said that. Rebranding is a lot of work. And it's going to take a lot of time and consistency. You're going to have to rebrand your look. You're going to have to rebrand your social media. You're going to have to rebrand your names, your social media handles. You guys see me doing it right now. I'm literally doing it right now. And I feel like people are so annoyed of me and so overwhelmed by me because I show up with a new name every other day. And I'm like, go follow my new social media. But it's like, I don't care. I don't care. You're either going to be on this journey with me or you're not. And if you're not, I don't care because I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it to the top because the bottom is way too crowded. And I always make it to the top, so I don't care. Offer something new. Introduce exclusive shows, themes, or features. Consider adding new platforms like OF, SP, or other broader audiences, which that's a good point. Now that I am out of the box niche that I was in, now I can be on TikTok. And that was the biggest thing about my rebrand. I was unable to be on TikTok before because I was so over sexualizing myself, and I had that dominatrix mask on. I had the latex on. I felt like I was getting banned every other day, and it was so hard for me to grow as a person, and it was so hard for me to get the message out there that I wanted to get out there, which was positivity and helping people. But nobody could see that through my mask. They were just getting kind of scared of me. They weren't getting soft feminine energy from it. So when I changed that, I was able to be on bigger platforms. So think about that. If you are boxing yourself in, being overly sexual, that's not going to help you grow. That might help you in small aspects like Twitter maybe, but it's not going to help you on IG. It's not going to help you on TikTok. So maybe you have to rebrand your whole everything. Market strategically. That goes back to what I just said. So marketing strategically, let's see what they have to say. Create teasers or countdowns to build excitement around your new brand. Collaborate with other models to cross promote and attract new fans. I love that. I love that idea. So you guys see me posting teasers all the time. I'm always posting teasers about my podcast on Instagram. I post short clips, and then I say, if you want to watch the full episode, go to my TikTok or go to my YouTube. So that would be considered a teaser. So when you're marketing your new self and your new brand, you have to be very strategic. So like I said, you could go on ChatGPT, read all of these word for word, and get a lot more. You can even ask ChatGPT, be more specific. Like, it will give you this whole list, and then you can end up typing out at the bottom, be more specific. And it will be so specific, and it will tell you exactly what to do. So I'm happy that they had a lot of things to say, just like I did, a lot of good stuff to say. But the biggest takeaway I want to give you guys with this episode is to not care what anybody thinks. If you are going to rebrand yourself, you have to be very strong, and you have to have that strong persona that I don't care what people think. I'm going to try over and over and over again until something sticks and something hits. And I want you guys to look at me as an example, because if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've done it and you see me doing it, and I do not care what anybody thinks. I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers, but what I do have is a very engaged following, and my customers love me. They love what I do. They get excited to see me. You guys love me, and that makes it all so worth it for me. I don't need 1 million followers. When I get there, I'll be grateful, but as of now, I'm just very excited to do what I do, and that's what keeps me going. The negativity of others thinking that I don't have it all together or I can't figure it out, I don't care what they think. I don't care what they think, because they're not doing what I'm doing, and they don't have the guts to do what I'm doing. So if you think about it that way, and you just keep pushing forward with your rebrand, that's all that's going to matter to you in the end of the day. And let me tell you something about a rebrand. People forget, okay? You are in your head, and you might just be like, oh my God, they're going to think I can't figure it out. They're going to think I've changed my name 1 million times. They're going to think I dyed my hair too many times. No one will remember. Next month from now, they're going to forget your rebrand, and they're just going to think of you as who you are, okay? Sooner or later, you guys are going to forget that my name was ever Take Me Exclusive. We're going to forget all about Take Me Exclusive in a few months, because, who I am today is going to stick. And if I rebrand next month, oh well, I don't care, because you're still going to be here watching me, because the value that I give you is so important to you. And that's what I want you guys to consider when you're rebranding yourself. I want you guys to give so much value in whatever you're doing, whether that's the type of shows you're doing. I want you to show up for your customers. I want you to, put all your effort in when you're working. Whatever you are doing when it comes to rebranding, I want you to give it your full effort, and that's all that's going to matter, because the value you give someone is all that matters. They're not going to think about your name. They're not going to think about your niche. They're not going to think about your setup or your backdrop or your bedroom. They're not going to care about any of that. All people care about is the value the same, or is it even better? I think the value I'm giving you guys now with my rebrand is even better than it was when I had the mask on. And I always gave my full effort, even with the mask on, but I just feel more genuine now and I feel more like myself now. So I feel more comfortable. And I think that shows in my content. So always think of that when you're rebranding yourself. Put in all the effort, and that is all that's going to matter, you know? I love you guys always. I'm going to end this video on that note, and I hope this helped somebody. And if you guys have any questions, you can always come back to this video, drop me a question, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on all my socials. I have the link up in my bio. I love you guys always, and I hope that I can help you guys. I want us all to get to the top because the bottom is way too crowded. I love you guys so much. Good night.